YouTube, what's going on? Witty P coming back with another one. Let's get it. Let's keep the fire going. We're going to talk some boxing today. You know, I talk variety of sports, basketball, football, even throw some baseball in there, but we're going to talk boxing. Jermall Charlo, 160 champion. Is Jermall Charlo the biggest fraud in boxing right now? One of my favorite fighters, but on my channel, I keep it real and I don't hold any punches. So we're going to talk Jermall Charlo. We're going to talk some boxing. So stick with me. Before I start the video, please watch the entire video. And if you like it, subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this. Just content about sports and various topics. Let's get it. Yeah, I do my boxing videos also. So broke down Triple G, Canelo, the trilogy, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, the heavyweight bout back in September. So I break down this boxing. I did Devin Haney, George Kambosos. I broke down that fight. So check me out on the boxing tip. I love boxing. But we're going to talk Jermall Charlo. And like I said, Jermall Charlo, one of my favorite fighters. But I got to call him out. Jermall Charlo has been at 160, let's say 4 or 5 years now. Since about 2000, about 6 years now, about 2016. His last fight at 154 was against Julian J. Rock Williams. Other than Sergey Derevyanchenko, that was his best win. You can't even, out of his 7 fights at 160, you can't name me one guy, you can't name me 2 guys that you really respect, and that's a household name in boxing. Besides Sergey Derevyanchenko, and you might remember Matthew Korobov, because a lot of people felt Jermall Charlo lost that fight. The doubleheader with his brother that they had on PBC in about 2, 3 years back. Other than that, you won't be able to name me anybody else on Jermall Charlo's resume. Tomato cans. He's fought guys like Dennis Hogan, who had to move up to fight him. Brandon Adams, who was on the Contender. Like I said, Matthew Korobov gave him trouble. And the Matthew Korobov fight really stuck out to me. I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, he had a tough fight. Jermall Charlo definitely had a tough fight. But if you really want to prove that you had an off night, which he said he had an off night, you supposed to rematch Korobov and demolish him. Just to prove to everybody you had an off night like your brother did against Tony Harrison. So he was supposed to run that back with Korobov and demolish him. Yeah, he looked good to finish the fight strong, but that's really stuck out to me about Jermall Charlo. I say, why wouldn't he give him a rematch and demolish him? Jermall Charlo's not fighting anybody else. He hasn't fought any other household names like a Danny Jacobs, a Demetrius Andrade. He's just been waiting around for a Canelo fight. You got guys like Jose Benavidez that called him out. Jermall Charlo used to go back and forth talking smack to Jose Benavidez, but as soon as Jose Benavidez got serious and he started calling Jermall Charlo out, then Jermall Charlo started talking about, oh, he got to take a vaccine, start coming up with excuses and different things like that. So I'm starting to wonder, did Jermall Charlo really want all the smoke like we thought he did at one point? Because at one point I used to think nobody wanted to fight Jermall Charlo. Like, he was the most feared man at 160. At one point I thought Canelo was scared of Jermall Charlo. But now I see these guys just want a payday. They don't really want to fight anybody. Jermall Charlo could have fought Danny Jacobs, just demolished him, just to keep your name hot and let people know you serious. This is how you force a Canelo fight. He could have fought Danny Jacobs. He could have demolished Demetrius Andrade. He could have demolished Matthew Korobov. And then you have fans forcing a Canelo fight. Then you have fans saying, shit, we don't want to see Canelo fight anybody but Jermall Charlo. We don't want to see Triple G fight anybody else but Jermall Charlo. That's how you force those fights if you really want to fight those guys. That's why I feel like Jermall Charlo has been a fraud. He's one of my favorite fighters, but I got to call him out. Because you got guys out here that will not call him out. Now his brother, Jermall Charlo, he grew on me a lot because I didn't like him. I won't say I didn't like him. I didn't feel he was as good as his brother. I like both of them, but I just didn't feel like he was as good as his brother. I didn't feel like he had the knockout power. I didn't think he had the explosiveness. But he's the one who really wanted all the smoke. Jermall Charlo has turned into one of my favorite fighters. He'll fight anybody. 154. Undisputed. So, Jermall Charlo want all the smoke. Now he's looking like Big Charlo. Mel was looking like Big Charlo. So, we're going to see what Jermall Charlo do, man, because it's a lot of bark, not a lot of bite lately. He just pulled out of a fight with the injury. Hasn't been active, but all these guys are waiting around for Canelo. So, you got guys like Jose Benavidez calling them out, damn near trying to start fights, you know, at other guys' fights, just to let them know how serious he is. And Jermall Charlo just trying to blow it over now because he knows he's serious. So, I still think Jermall Charlo is one of the best out there, like especially when he's focused. And I also feel like this. I got to say this about Jermall Charlo. Since he's one of my favorite fighters, I've been watching him. He steps up his game to the competition, to the level of competition. Like, his opponent will bring out the best in him, depending on the best or the worst in him. Like, if he feels like it's a slouch, you won't see the best Jermall Charlo. But if his opponent can be somewhat of a threat, like Julian J. Rock Williams or like Sergey Derevyanchenko, who's had tough fights against Triple G and Danny Jacobs, you're going to see a focused Jermall Charlo. And he looked very focused in that Sergey Derevyanchenko fight. One of my favorite fights from Jermall Charlo. His biggest win to date at 160. Because he's fought in just tomato cans, you know, other than Sergey Derevyanchenko and like Matthew Korobov. So, I will say that about Jermall Charlo. I feel like his opponent, you know, will depend on what type of Jermall Charlo we get in the ring. So, let me know what y'all think. He looking like a fraud right now, along with Ryan Garcia, you know, a big fraud in boxing. Just want to talk. Him and Tank is never going to fight. I'm just going to tell you that right now. They're never going to fight. They won't put Ryan Garcia in there with Tank Davis. Why would they do that? It just doesn't make any sense. He's just using Tank name to, you know, stay relevant. They're never going to fight. They won't. It's just all a hype job. It's just all to keep boxing, you know, keep people talking about boxing. They're not going to fight. They're not going to fight. They're not going to risk Ryan Garcia in there with Tank Davis. And I'm not saying Tank don't fight the best competition either. Tank don't fight nobody either. His toughest fight was Isaac Cruz. He's supposed to run that back. Isaac Cruz gave him everything. But Tank best win, clean win up to this date is Leo Santa Cruz, in my opinion. Leo Santa Cruz was a champion, proven winner, you know. But they gave him that Isaac Cruz win. But Pitbull was coming, and he wanted that rematch. So, Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That fight never developed. So, Ryan Garcia is all talk, man. Just stop taking him serious. He's not serious about any big fights. He's not. So don't take Ryan Garcia serious. But him and Jermall Charlo looking like the biggest frauds in boxing right now. Let me know what y'all think. Drop something down in the comments. You know I can't stop. I'm going to keep the fire coming. Woody P coming back with another one. Comment, like, subscribe. I had to knock another one out. Let's get it. Bah, bah, bah. Let's get it.